Hey. We talking OTAs. First day of OTAs open to the public. We can see clearly now. I don't even know what's gone. The off season? No, we're still in the off season. Nothing's gone. The pain is gone because we are here. We're watching our quarterback sling it. Okay. And now we have to talk about it. We have to dissect the footage. We have to dissect the words like only Boy Green and James Wudi can. Live here today. Tune in. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Aaron Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Aaron? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever done.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi. We got Boy Green right there. I just want to say, thank God for the New York Jets to pick me up when the Game 7 loss of the New York Knicks had brought me down and the tears were flowing just all up in my beard. My beard was drying up the tears just to have this footage from these days of OTAs to pick me back up and celebrate New York sports. Your boy is feeling good. Wudi is back. He is back to life. Wake me up. He's back to life. Boy Green, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Got the Rondo shirt on. I hope you guys appreciate this.
Okay,
Look at that. Look at that legend right there, Rondo. You know, again, I don't understand. I was going to say I understand your pain, but I don't, because the Celtics are in their third straight Eastern Conference Finals, and they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 of the last 8 years. You guys haven't been there since the turn of the century, so I can understand how difficult that must be for you. But you know what? Hey, different strokes, different folks. So I was already up, and then the Jet stuff picked me up even higher, even further up, which was spectacular. So Aaron Rodgers throwing around the pigskin, some comments from people. So pretty juicy, Wudi. Pretty juicy indeed.
Well, I'm a big fan of juice. So definitely a whole lot to dig into. Like you said, footage. Then we talk about press conferences, right? That's part of the reason for the special start time, right? You guys already know, you've been here, been part of the drill. Boy Green meets Wudi, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. But the special start time today, because we did not want to miss the footage of Aaron Rodgers speaking live at the podium.
Correct. That's
so,
right.
Between that, Salah, Ray, how many people did we have speaking today?
All right, let's see if we could go through them. So I'll try to do them in order. So we had Robert Saleh speak today. And this is for the first time in a long time, if you really think about it, from the last time that we heard him talk from the draft. So we had Saleh. We had Jeff Ulbrich, our defensive coordinator. We had Nathaniel Hackett, our offensive coordinator. Sass Gadna. Garrett Wilson. I mean, the list goes on and on of all the people that spoke. Plus, of course, obviously you had the practice itself. So there was just plenty of content, quite frankly, content overload after having nothing. Boom. All of a sudden you have all this content to kind of sift your way through. And there'll be a handful of these OTA practices that are in fact open to the media. This is the second overall OTA practice, but our first one open to the media. So a good little taste here. This is nice. So now we're going to have, OTA practice, mandatory minicamp in June. And then after the middle of June, we're kind of away. Not us, the show. The Jets are away for like a month until training camp. So we're in the thick of it, baby.
Yeah, but that's actually a good point about being away, because some people were away today.
Oh, geez. All right, Professor, give us the attendance.
Well, just going down the line is just saying, present, Aaron Rodgers, present. According to Zach Rosenblatt, who we've been able to fact check since.
Yes.
But it looks like Brees Hall, who
Mhm.
I don't have to explain who that is to y'all, right? He was not there. Quinnen Williams, Hassan Reddick, the prize free agent, arguably
Trade guy. Yeah.
the top free agent of the offseason. Some people could make that argument. Some people would probably disagree.
Who's that?
Solly Thomas,
Yep.
he's already been here, done that. Actually, coming off a career year.
He
5.5
is career high in
sacks.
sacks. Yeah.
And then Likey Fotu, another new addition. Not that boys group, singing group from the 80s, 90s. No, a new addition to the team, who is not here. Early thoughts, Boy Green, before I dive in.
Yeah, these are voluntary. So, you want everyone there. The good news is Zach Rosenblatt, speaking of him, he tweeted out that the participation was great. He said in his, prognostication, because players are running around, it's not like he has a little, all right, Wudi present. Okay, he's here. Like, I don't know how Zach Rosenblatt was doing this, but he said 90+% of the entire 90-man roster was there. So outside of the handful of examples you mentioned, everyone was there. So, and most importantly, Aaron Rodgers, who I think is an important piece to this puzzle. It was super important last year because of the newness of everything. Him being traded there and him being there for the team, I think, was symbolic, even more so than whatever impact it was having. So Rodgers being there, I think, is really important. I think it's even more important this year in a different way. Of as this team tries to pursue things and make a chase. A lot of people criticized Rodgers for podcast appearances and this, that, or the other. For him to potentially not be here, I think that would have been like, oh, so you have time for those things, but not the Jets. Like that could have been some of the narrative coming out, and thankfully it wasn't. So 90, this is Zach Rosenblatt's number, but 90% plus of the 90-man roster was there today for the media open practice, and that includes Rodgers. I'm satisfied.
Yes, I mean, definitely, for all the reasons you said, it's very good. It's a very good stat, very good development, very promising, especially for the regime, right? I think that's probably the only question, or like the lingering question is, this coaching staff, people have taken their time to make these hit pieces against a coaching staff, but for people to take time voluntarily to spend time with them and install this system shows a lot. I will say, just as a general rule of thumb,
Okay,
if you're new to the team, I think it's important to be there. So I don't like that so many, or not so many, but the majority of the people that were identified as not being there are new installs.
right. That's fair.
I'm not sure what that will mean, if that delays the process at all. I mean, I don't know if Likey Fotu was even getting that many snaps anyway, so maybe that might not make a difference. But Hassan Reddick, I definitely would have wished for him to be there. For Tyron to come out there and start his mentorship of Olu and all that. Morgan Moses, who counts, I would say counts as a new guy, even though he's been there before. To be there, like that's what I'm looking forward to. And in that vein of their presence helping out the team, but also the next guy up, I'm kind of disappointed in my guy Quinnen. He's my favorite Jet, longest tenured Jet. He is that dude.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah, he is that dude. But I think he had a real opportunity to be there and help out a guy like Leonard Taylor III, right? Somebody who was one of the highest undrafted prospects out there. He came with the Jets. This is somebody who could be their next Bryce Huff in terms of an undrafted guy that gets
Whoa. I knew I had to correct you. Quinnen Williams isn't the most longest tenured player on the team, young man.
Who is?
Okay, I'll give you a chance to guess who that player is. There is someone who is longer tenured with the Jets than Quinnen Williams. I'll give you a chance. Go ahead. Go on, trivia time.
Well, I mean, I clearly thought it was Quinnen. Okay, let me go through the roster. I feel like there's no way it can be offense. It has to be somebody on defense. Now is it somebody on offense? No, it can't be somebody.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
But if you just give up, I'll give it to you.
No, we'll go before. Yeah, no, I don't have anybody.
I have a keen eye on this player because I don't know if you saw this, Woody. You were overlooked. There's no question about it. Matt O'Leary did a content creator Jets roster. And you go through all he had like a quarterback was Jets Central and all these Jets content creators he had as, pieces on the team, wide receiver, tight end, this, that.
I was definitely overlooked. Damn, look at that.
Yeah, you did not get included in the roster. So he did give a tweet after all of his announcements that like some people were left off, and it's a damn shame. He said, "I wish I had a 53-man roster." It just says how many great content creators we had. So you were overlooked. There's no question about it. But I cracked the lineup, obviously. And I cracked the lineup as the long snapper. Thomas Hennessy is the longest tenured Jet. He's been here since 2017, baby. So Thomas Hennessy, all reliable. I was selected as the long snapper for this team, core special teams player, Matt O'Leary said, and I take great pride in that, baby. So yes, so put some respect on Thomas Hennessy's name, sir. One of the best long snappers in the league.
I literally don't even have a great response to that.
Of course you don't. Yeah, I'm sorry would be, a default response, or I apologize, and I would not forgive you, but that'd be a start.
Well, I guess respect to Thomas Hennessy, yes, and to Boy Green, the long snapper, the Thomas Hennessy adjacent to the content creation.
That's right.
But Quinn is still a big key piece.
Well, I'll say this. We're getting this immediately from Edward, and I appreciate all the comments, everybody. It's voluntary. Quinn knows the system. Let him rest now because he's a beast. Edward EZ on YouTube chimes in. And so we're getting some comments here of people saying perhaps some overreaction to people not being here for voluntary OTAs.
Well, I'm definitely not saying he needs to, learn anything or something like that. But I mean, Rodgers is there, right? There's a lot of veterans there. The vibe is all high. I think he is another one of the leaders of the team. He is a core leader of the team, just like Mosley, just like so many of the people that are there. That I think it's not as much for him as it is for a guy like I said, like Leonard Taylor III, who could be their next Bryce Huff undrafted defensive lineman to end up being successful in the league, becoming a starter and getting paid in this league. So just having that type of osmosis, I think Quinnen Williams is a quintessential example of, hard work, good mechanics, and kind of being able to learn off people. So not having him there, I don't love it, but of course I will still be sleeping like this. No sleep loss.
Okay, well, that's good to hear because, again, Quinnen Williams just got his high school jersey retired over the weekend. He's been a busy man. I don't know what these guys have going on in their lives. So, for the first media one, we're all like, geez, I wish he would have been there. But you know what? To be honest, as long as they're there when it matters. The mandatory minicamp, which is coming up, which is supposed to be mandatory, but sometimes teams cancel that. Hopefully the Jets don't cancel it this time. They canceled it last time because they report early for the Hall of Fame game. There's no Hall of Fame game to report early to for this time around. So, again, in a perfect world, I want everybody there. I would like to think it's easy for me to say for somebody who doesn't have to report, but I'd like to say if I was an NFL player, of course, I'd be reporting for voluntary workouts to be around my teammates and to go through the offseason to do all those things, but I'm not in that position. So, like I said, it's easy for me to say because if I say yes or no, it doesn't affect me. I'm still sitting here. So, take that for what you will.
Definitely. And again, it's not everybody, and
right.
I was just hoping, in a perfect world,
I gotcha.
Because the leaders did show up. All the leaders up and down that roster showed up. I would say he was probably the only one.
Including, by the way, you mentioned the leaders. What about Aaron friggin' Rodgers, baby? And shout out to Zach Rosenblatt. We have stats for Aaron Rodgers from OTAs. And here they were. Again, this from Zach Rosenblatt. You can follow him on Twitter at Zach Blatt. He covers the New York Jets for The Athletic. Aaron Rodgers' final numbers in Jets team drills today. 8 for 10 in team drills with touchdown passes to Xavier Gibson and Garrett Wilson. We like that. He was 5 for 5 and 7-on-7 drills. Zach Rosenblatt said he wasn't perfect, but he was mostly looking like himself. And the only thing is, I heard, we have not seen the clip yet, but the Jets are likely going to tweet this out. But apparently the Rodgers-Gibson pass was an absolutely gorgeous play, according to those that were there. Yeah, so here it is. This is from Connor Hughes. There's your first highlight of the summer. Aaron Rodgers with a laser down the seam for a touchdown to Xavier Gibson. Great pass between closing safety after Gibson beat the corner about 40 yards. Jets quarterback is back, baby. So I am more than willing to overreact to May clips of New York Jets highlights. So again, we'll get the video, I'm sure, from the New York Jets social media team, but spicy. So Aaron Rodgers looked just like his old self. And let me also add this: no restrictions, no limitations, no nothing. Saleh confirmed that at his presser. We'll talk about some of the other Saleh comments here. But Rodgers was full go. There's no even Achilles stuff. Like, he was performing in all the requirements of what they asked any other player to do in team drills, which is, again, great news to hear and shouldn't be surprising because, again, at the back end of last season, he could have, should have, would have played in the regular season, but he didn't because the Jets fell out of the playoffs. But it's just great to hear on May 21st a full participant from our man, our guy, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, the last part of what you said is at the heart of my sentiment. Dude was ready to play week 17. Like, he could have played probably even earlier than that. So I don't know why there was so much shock or so much surprise. Rich to me, just saying things that aren't true. If he was ready to play then, how is he not ready to play now? And here he is. He's got some I guess he got a highlight play. I'm not going to hold, stats, OTA stats don't mean too much to me. There were days where, Zach Wilson was 7 for 8 and, oh, look at this touchdown to that person. So all that, is fine. But to hear that our QB1 was moving well, moving healthy, looked like himself, and, doing all that. Yes. Let me take that. I'll take that all day. Perfect health.
That's the thing. Remember, last year we lost Chuck Clark during one of these OTA practices, and it was one that wasn't open to the media, so we had to learn of that one through back channels. And we just saw one, someone in Denver, Drew Sanders, the linebacker, blown Achilles out in one of these OTA practices, the young linebacker. So it's just scary, man, because this is football, and literally anything can happen when there's full contact or no contact, which is incredibly scary. So I'm doing every rain dance. I'm doing every voodoo doll. I'm speaking to all the people I need to make sure that the Jets stay healthy. And that goes for all the NFL teams, by the way. I'm hoping no injuries for anybody, but we all know that that's not realistic. But I'm hoping specifically for the Jets that they could just stay healthy. I don't want some compromising injury in May that takes the wind out of our sails.
Well, I'm praying / assuming that the Knicks took all the injuries, in the tri-state area.
God,
they had enough themselves. So that hopefully the Jets, the injury gods are like, oh, we already hit this area. Okay.
Oh, right. So the Knicks died so the Jets can fly. I love it, Wudi.
Yes. Maybe you guys need a sacrifice too, though, because, the Celtics, Porzingis already hurt. Maybe he's just going to, stub his toe again and just ensure that the Jets stay healthy.
We'll see. We'll see about all that. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1 tonight, and Game 1 of Western Conference Finals tomorrow. There are two great matchups. Well,
how about that?
I mean, there's a good one. I'm really Luka.
Weston's going to be amazing.
Yeah, Luka and Ant, man, going at each other. That's awesome. That's great for the NBA. Those are two future, they're current stars, but I mean, like, two future guys that can be battling for a long time. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, pass the biscuits, baby. Celtics Pacers going to be pretty quick. But
we'll see. More than 5, I would imagine.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Anywho, so there's some juice on Aaron Rodgers. You ready to get in some Saleh action here?
Yes. Pass the croutons, baby.
I love this one. And I will be honest, I missed this initially, so I'm going to have to do some deep dive on this because I heard about it, but I didn't get to see it in full flower. So apparently, Sauce Gardner our Jets cornerback earlier this offseason, told somebody that he's going to be traveling more this year. And he went to Ulbrich about it, the Jets defensive coordinator. I'm like, traveling? Sauce Gardner. I remember when they brought up that topic of salary, it's like, we don't do that here. We don't do that business. Where he said in the middle of the season when people asked, and they're like, we love DJ Reed. Like, we don't have to do that, blee, blah, blue. However, Sauce said it earlier this offseason and kind of piqued my interest. I didn't see the interview immediately. I'm like, okay. And then Saleh was asked about it today. And here are some of the quotes from old Saleh here when talking about Sauce Gardner, by the way, perhaps doing some traveling this season. And here are some of those like mini quotes. He's a weapon we can use from a defensive standpoint. When you have a guy like that, you just got to try to find ways to be creative with him. He said, and this is no longer a direct quote, he said, exclusively, we don't anticipate playing Sauce 100% of the time on the opposing wide receiver's number one guy. But he said, more than last year, it's possible. And he kind of had like a smirk, like, who knows? But it feels like that's actually a thing. If they're talking about it right now, that must be something that's cooking. And I'm going to be honest, that's awesome. Revis Island was great because he wiped away. It went from 11-on-11 football to 10-on-10 football with Revis on one side of the field. So for teams to say, oh, wait, Sauce plays on whatever it is, the left side or right side, whatever. All right, let's just throw everything over here. And that's what happened a lot against Sauce. So other teams could be like, all right, if Jets refuse to move him, then I will just go to the easier target. DJ Reed's great, but he's not Sauce Gardner. So we're going to pass over here. Now that the Jets are willing to move their chess piece around, teams like, jeez. Oh, God, look at this. So to me, it's awesome. It's maximizing Sauce's talent. The Jets should be open to this and be flexible. I remember that Bills game, unfortunately, I went to in person, and when Stephon Diggs was not doing anything against us, they're like, yeah, let's throw him on the other side. And then they just killed whoever the cornerback was. You're like, what the, you know what I mean? So that's the sort of thing in my mind that you have to be willing to adapt or die. To quote the Brad Pitt from Moneyball, adapt or die. And I love that the Jets are incorporating this, and I'm very much looking forward to what it is because I've seen some of the wide receiver matchups coming for Sauce this year. If you look at the schedule, and ooh, baby, there's some spicy things there. So that's a huge takeaway today. One of my favorite takeaways.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Wow. So you don't want travel. Wow. You don't have any Chase Blue points to get on your flight card.
I do. I mean, hey, I am TSA pre, so I'm good to travel if need be.
I see.
But the defense has been elite. That is the objective analysis. The New York Jets defense has been elite for the last 2 years. And I don't think changing it or tweaking it is necessary. I think this is a testament to the heart and the will of Ahmad, just the person himself, that he wants to be the best, the drive. He wants to be known as, one of, if not the best corner in the league, and giving him a chance to do that. This is the way to give him a chance to do that. So I respect the coaches adapting and almost reacting to the personnel that they have in order to tweak their own philosophies to make that happen. But from a team success standpoint, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think this is necessarily something that's going to make the team better. I think it actually helps how they have it, where, oh, look at that. You either have a massive fart or something to say in response to what I'm saying.
Boo. That it can't help. What? Come on.
No, I said I don't think it will. I didn't say it can't. I didn't say it was not possible, but I just don't think it will. We had Darrelle Revis. Okay. Revis was that dude. Jets fans love saying this person's the next that, this person's the next this.
Wait a second. I got
Revis is Revis. Okay. Let's leave Revis Island.
Okay.
At Revis Island in the Hall of Fame where he's at.
Okay. I think you're right that on a grand scale, general scale, people say, Revis, I guess we could use this as the example in this scenario, but like Cleveland. Let's just shoot NBA, right? LeBron James leaves. So like, all right, who's the next LeBron James here? Like, that's a stupid thing to say. Like, I get that. That's just whack. Okay. Here's an uncomfortable conversation for the older Jet fans in the audience. And I say older, relatively speaking, because Revis is within this generation. But like, Sauce Gardner has been better than Revis through his first 2 years than Revis has been. That's just facts. That's truth. Sauce Gardner's a first-team All-Pro in both seasons. Literally, you can't do any better than Sauce has performed from that perspective. Could he have a few more picks? Sure. Again, I was there in Dallas when he dropped the pick 6 that could have changed the entire game around. Thanks, Sauce. But I'm nitpicking. Overall, he's been awesome, and he's been better than Revis has been. If you look at, let me take a quick gander here because I'm pretty sure I remember it to be the case. But let's look at it. Let's look at old Darrelle Revis. Pull up Darrelle Revis. Let me look on the old internet. 38 years old. Darrelle Shavar Revis. I did not know that was your middle name, but the more you know. Excellent. Let me take a quick peek. Okay. All right. So Darrelle Revis came into the league in 2007. His first-team All-Pro didn't come until his third season. Sauce already has 2 in the bank. Revis didn't get his first until year 3. Sauce already has 2 in. So again, I tell you, Wudi, as I said before,
is that the only criteria that you're using?
Well, that's a pretty good criteria. That's not like, so all the time, you know what's funny, Wudi? All the time you go, well, there's the Google stats for the Google stats. First team All-Pro isn't about popularity contest. It's about results. There's no, if I'm the first team All-Pro, you're not getting first team All-Pro, okay? It's not a Pro Bowl nod. If I decide to go to Guatemala, you don't get my first team All-Pro. This is the list, and there's no alternates for All-Pro. You either are or you aren't. There's 2 cornerbacks in the NFL that get first-team All-Pro. Sauce is one of the 2.
Yes, so it's a media voted award, right? So let's talk about it. It's a media voted award. I had tried to say that Quincy Williams was one of the best linebackers in football. Do you remember what your response was when I said it?
No.
He said, "Oh, well, he's not a Pro Bowler. He's not a Pro Bowler."
I know that was a joke.
And then he won All-Pro, and now it's like, oh, he's an All-Pro. Between those events, right? The numbers didn't change, the tape didn't change, but one media award he was voted, one media award he was not. It's a vote. It's a vote. If you want to look at the numbers of Darrelle versus Sauce, Darrelle has more interceptions, more pass deflections. Okay, like he was in a scheme. Yes, I'm on Pro Football Reference, so you can do. I know you are so good at the Google search, Boy Green. So I know you can do the same thing, right? So he had more of those, and he was traveling with the number one corner. Number one corner with the number one receiver. Again, I'm not here to
disparage.
Yeah, exactly. Disparage Sauce. I think he is a very good corner, but he is not Revis Island. Stop. There is one Revis Island. Leave him on the island. Leave him on the island. It is not our fault that he was not a media darling with a name like Sauce, right? In his first couple of years, but he had better stats. All right, he had better ability.
Okay, wait. So you're bringing up the stats.
That is facts.
Okay, we go to year 1. Revis had 3 picks. Sauce had 2. Sauce had 20 pass deflections. Revis had 17. But even putting those stats aside for a second.
We said first 2 years. What happened in year 2?
Yeah, I started at year 1. Isn't that where it all started? Again, that he was better.
We're talking about to date. Look at you. See, look at you. You know you can't put it in year 2 because it's horrible. It's horrible. 5 interceptions. The man got better. Sauce got worse. Zero.
No, because people tested him. People tested Revis because you wonder why they thought they could get away with testing Revis. They knew immediately, we can't be testing Sauce. But here's the more important part of what we're saying here is that for your conversation for Revis, you're like, leave Revis Island alone. Oh, is he the only person in the history of football that is because he dominated the island, no one else can go on the island? No one else can go to a different island? I didn't know there's one island on planet Earth. I thought there was multiple islands, a couple different islands you could visit. Sauce Gardner can also travel. It doesn't have to be this disrespect to Revis or anything else. Gardner can travel and Revis can travel. They can both travel. I'm a advocate of travel. World travel wherever the hell you want to travel, as far as I'm concerned. And the fact that you say that there is a chance that Sauce Gardner, or however you want to phrase your words, because you're a particular guy about your words. Okay. I guess I should be too, as a radio guy, should be more of a wordsmith. But the fact of the matter is that when you look at this with Sauce, why does it matter? If he travels, that increases his attractiveness to the Jets. When you shove him on one side, that's how Richard Sherman got picked apart. He was just a one-sided guy his entire career. Sauce, who did a little bit of traveling last year, is set to do a lot more traveling this year. Salah seems like he got him some extra luggage for some of these trips. You look at it here, and traveling can only help the team. It can only raise the profile of Sauce Gardner, who, by the way, the profile is higher than Revis through the first 2 years in his career. That's just
it. You see the blasphemy? Like, this is pure blasphemy. You are desecrating the holy name of Darrelle Revis, Darrelle Shavar Revis. Just with this take, it's not even. Let me take a step back because you're about to make me have a heart attack live on air. Darrelle Revis is a Hall of Famer. He is him. And again, I don't even want to say anything bad about Sauce, but Sauce, he is not. I mean, yes, he has the notoriety. All right, he has raw gifts, but he is not Revis level yet. I don't even know how long it's going to take him to get 8 career interceptions. It might take his whole career. I don't know, because the boy's hands. I don't know. I don't even know if he has 5 separate fingers on each hand. It might just be like mitten like this. It might be like that. So, could it be better? Maybe. It also could be worse. But what I'm saying right now is that how it is right now, is great. You should be able to agree with that. How it is right now is great.
So you're a person that likes to be complacent. So you like to be complacent in your life. When things are solid enough, you're like, this is fine. I don't have to improve. That's what you're saying about Sauce. You're saying that it's fine right now. Sure, it's been good so far, but you can't get complacent. You can never be satisfied. Okay, Sauce has been good, but what's the next level? See, you would be a flame out in the NFL. You'd have a couple of good years, and then you'd just be like, I'm just going to ride the pine. I'm going to ride this thing out throughout the rest of history. Sauce is always trying to evolve, always trying to grow. And a way to help the team is by traveling.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Sauce's mindset. I applauded Sauce's mindset. That's exactly how you should be. But the coaches, that is the difference. The coaches need to do what is going to win games. So they need to do what's working. If the sauce is in the pudding, that's not the saying. I don't know what the saying is right now. I can't think about it. But if the proof is in the pudding, that's what it is. If the proof is in the pudding, then there's no reason to switch up the sauce in that pudding. All right. That's what I'm saying is they probably should keep it. Now, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But again, you're saying this as if there's only one outcome and the outcome is success. Oh my God. He's about
tell me this. What could go wrong with Sauce traveling?
What do you mean? Him getting cooked up, just looking like Eli Apple against Justin Jefferson.
How?
Is that not possible? Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the league?
No. We're focusing on not that the fact he could get beat anywhere on the field. I'm saying specifically to the travel quotient. Him going from the right side to the left side or the left side to right side. How could that suddenly be off? He forgets how to backpedal? What could go wrong with the travel? That's what I'm like. Can he get beat? Of course. He had the 1 touchdown or whatever he gave up his rookie year / this past year to Amari Cooper on that miscommunication apparently in the secondary. Sure, yeah. Yeah, he could get beat. He's a human being. I get that, but I'm just saying specifically to the travel quotient. I don't understand how that could be bad.
That opens up more of that.
How?
Because he would be traveling. Is he now traveling across from the wide receiver 1?
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So there'd be more of that instead of the current way, right, where there's rotation with DJ Reed, who does a pretty good job against a lot of these guys. I have no problem with DJ Reed being maxed out. As a matter of fact, in that same game that you referred to, he played pretty well against Justin Jefferson.
He got beat on the touchdown.
He's
back right corner of the end zone.
Yeah, so that's one play. Like you said, he's human. That's one play. But he also had 2 pass breakups that same
What about the
game.
Dolphins game? Didn't he get cooked by Jalen Waddle?
So is DJ Reed trash? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying he's trash, but it sure sounds like you're. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. When we talk at the pre-production meeting that the people don't know about before the show, we're like, hey, a little bit of this bullet point. Yeah, that sounds good. A little bit of this one, sure, okay. And then we get into this, and you start, your mouth opens. I'm like, what the hell? That's what happens all the time. I'm going to be blunt. Yeah. I'm just puzzled. I'm baffled. I think the sauce travel thing can only be great. I think Salah indicated pretty strongly, unless he's a poker player, that it's not going to be exclusive. It's not going to be, hey, number one receiver, you're wiped off the board. But it sounds like it's going to be more than it was in the past.
All right, we'll see. Let's hope. Okay. Let's hope it's good and not terrible.
We'll see what happens. Okay, so we already talked about Rodgers, so let's put him aside. Let's stay in the secondary. Okay, this is one that groundbreaking. Again, I don't know how this wasn't the headline to the video. Isaiah Oliver, which was, by the way, the first move of the Jets offseason. They signed him before free agency because he was cut by the 49ers. They signed him on March 11th, right ahead of free agency. When you get cut ahead of time, you don't have to wait for free agency to roll around. He signed a 1-year deal for $2.5 million. People are like, who the hell is Isaiah Oliver? Is he even on the team? Some people may be saying they don't even know. He has played at cornerback in the NFL for 6 years. He was with the Falcons for a bunch of years and went to the 49ers. He's on the Super Bowl team. All great. He comes to the Jets. And his analytics, there's actually a lot to like just on the bare surface numbers and size, and a lot of things to like about Isaiah Oliver, who really kind of replaced Justin Hardy / kind of like a backup corner in theory to like the Michael Carter seconds of the world. But now Jeff Ulbrich confirmed today that he's switching from corner to safety, which, by the way, I just want to say off the top, I think is a smart business decision. Well, he hasn't played safety in his career. It seems from all the research I've been doing, he has not been a safety before. The good news is there's a lot more, which will lead us into another bullet point here later, but there's a clearer path to PT and making the roster at safety than there is at corner. PFF just ranked for the second consecutive year. The New York Jets cornerback group is the best in the NFL. I know that may shock you, Wudi, since the cornerback sucks so much, but I just want to let you know about that. But they were ranked number 1 again, and he was giving love, this PFF writer, to Saskat and DJ Reed, Michael Carter II. Not a lot of wiggle room there. Brandon Eccles is there. He's been pretty good when called upon. So like I say, Oliver, I'm him. Like, ooh, where do I fit in this puzzle? But safety, the door wide open at safety, which is the position he will be moving into. Tony Adams has one starting job locked up. The Jets coaching staff freaking loves that guy. But the other spot's wide open, and that's also, I'll mix in that other comment from Salah, who says, opposite Tony Adams, Chuck Clark, Ashton Davis, and he didn't mention this because Salah spoke before Ulbrich, but Oliver also in that mix as that other safety. We'll see. So wide open competition. We got our first real big competition of the spring / summer, and that is 100% Isaiah Oliver and / more so the safety room as a whole.
I thought I saw that Adams was also in the competition. I didn't know that he was gifted. Let
me clarify, because that's a good point. When Salah was asked about the safety position in general, the only names he mentioned that were competing is Ashton Davis and Chuck Clark. He didn't mention Tony Adams' name, so I'm doing some assuming there to say he must mean it's sort of like last year. He got the veteran treatment. He got preseason games off and everything. They're like, what the? And Tony Adams just penciled in apparently to a starting gig. So he didn't mention him when he was talking about the openness of the safety position. And you have one of two assumptions there. He's not in the running, unlikely, or he already has his spot locked up. That's just kind of how I perceived it, just to clarify for the comment. But that's a good follow-up.
No, that makes complete sense. As for Oliver specifically, I mean, I think that's just a masterful move by one of the best, units in all of football. They've done this time and time again, moving people around. Hey, you know what? You kind of have the skills for this position instead. And they get it right almost every time. So for them to do that with a veteran, right? Most times it's a rookie, right? That they bring in and they were drafted,
Sure.
They played this in college and now they're about to be something else. But now to bring in a veteran and kind of make that same assessment, I think it is a tremendous move. Maybe that sounds like hyperbole, but really, that coaching staff has done this at such a high success rate that I will say, yes, it is a tremendous move We'll see what it does to the depth. As for the battle itself, I know that's something that Ashton was looking for, right? He was, almost didn't come back because he was looking for that starting gig, couldn't find it. And now, I feel this is the best win-win possibility in football is, this is a competition, right? Ashton, you want to start? Well, you got to bust your ass and you'll start if you put in the work. And from the team perspective, he's going to elevate himself trying to get this job. So whether he loses or wins, they will be better off for it. The classic iron sharpens iron. So I think we are seeing some beautiful things from some inexpensive pieces in the safety room.
And I think we win because whether Chuck wins and he's the starting, we get Ashton Davis, who I think is a high-quality backup, or vice versa. Ashton wins, Chuck Clark is a high-quality backup that had a snap streak, an Ironman streak of 1,000-plus snaps over a 3-year period before he came to the Jets. So, and it sucks for Chuck because, right, he gets traded from the Baltimore Ravens to the Jets. And they're like, hey, baby, the job's yours, pal. Slap on the cheeks. And then he gets hurt, tears his ACL. He loses his job, signs back for pennies, relatively speaking. He got $2 million. And then, hey, pal, Jets to Chuck Clark, you got to fight for the job with Ashton Davis. And I guess they're Jalen Key and now Isaiah Oliver kind of all into the mix. But the two main names that were mentioned are Clark and Davis. Hey, fight it out. I think the Jet fans wins by this. By the way, I wanted to read this quote from Jeff Ulbrich when he was talking about the position change. Again, I have a full article out on the Heavy on Jets page about this position switch. It's kind of interesting when you get into some of the numbers. But, quote, getting Isaiah Oliver, and we're converting him now as of today to safety to see what that looks like. He is a guy with a corner skill set from a standpoint of movement, cover skills, and all those things. Now taking advantage of his intelligence and his ability to communicate, putting him back there at the safety position, end quote. That's cool to hear Ulbrich kind of talking about the things that really piqued their interest and said, you know what, I know this guy's been playing the league for 6 years at a really high level. Early in his career, he was a full-time starter at corner for 2 seasons, back-to-back full-time starter. Then he's kind of transitioned more into a role player over the last couple of years. But for Ulbrich, just to have a light bulb come off, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Hey, pal, you learn Guatemalan. Time to learn some safety, pal. And it, like I said, it works out for the team. They obviously have identified something, and it works out for the player because, like I said, I think there's a much clearer path to both PT and a job on the team at the safety spot. So that, to me, is really intriguing. And we can wrap up, so to speak, on this one. Nathaniel Hackett. So, Saleh was asked early in the press conference, hey, Coach, there was a report that came out last week that you tried to replace Nathaniel Hackett. What went into that? And Saleh went like, I addressed that at the annual league meetings. I'm good. Like, I don't need to talk about that again. And then the reporter goes, well, actually, it was a new report from last week. And he goes, it was just rehashed stuff from the annual league meeting. He said there was like no new information in that. Thanks. And then it was like, ooh, awkward, which is fine. And then later, Rich Cimini did a really good job. I know a lot of people don't like Rich Cimini, whatever, but Rich Cimini did a really good job of rephrasing the question so he got a better answer out of Saleh, because that's really it. You just have to reword things to try to get a little bit more juice from Saleh about how Hackett learned from this and what the plan is and things of that nature. And they said one of the things they believe they took away is how to not quite, I'm paraphrasing with the phraseology here, but injury insurance the team. So like if one guy goes down, the offense isn't crashing and terrible, that they've learned, and they weren't going to reveal some of these details, but they've figured out in their mind a few ways to maximize the roster. So if any injury happens, they have these game plans and fall through plans. I'll just say right off the top, Rudy, I'm perfectly fine with Saleh punting on the Hackett stuff because now it is what it is. It's May 21st. They're not replacing Hackett anymore. Even if they legitimately tried this offseason and were unsuccessful, which by the way, I'm not surprised with, why would, if I'm a really hot offensive coordinator or offensive mind, why in God's green earth would I come to the Jets where if I could come there for a year and everyone gets fired? Now, I'm an optimistic guy, and I think it's all going to work out. The Jets are going to win the chip, and it's going to be gravy, parades, and fun crap. But if you're another person on the outside, like, hey, boy, this thing could blow up, and Nathaniel Hackett's going to stay, and I got to work with him, that's weird. who's play calling what? So, and that's Aaron Rodgers' friend. So, like, that could be a very awkward situation. So, first off, I'm not surprised they weren't able to get somebody. Number two, I don't give a flying hoot that Sal was punting on the question. What difference does it make now? Yeah, we try to replace him. Oh, well. And then that just causes more friction for the future. You've made the decision. You're sticking with Hackett. He also confirmed today, Saleh, that Hackett will be the primary play caller here in 2024. It is what it is from my perspective, but I saw it rub some people the wrong way with how Saleh handled the question. What are your thoughts?
I think in every situation, right, there are going to be haters, right? He could have anything he could have possibly done in that scenario. He would have found a group of people criticizing what he said. So that's what I'll leave that up to. I have to agree with being okay with the situation. It is what it is. I do agree that, giving somebody the 1-year rental to like work with Hackett, like that whole, like love triangle, like what is that? Like it's, The Bachelor, sure, all right, let's, run out these storylines. But this is, NFL football, the ultimate goal is to win a championship. There's no place for love triangles. So as a Jet fan, our hope is that we get to see some, Peyton Manning, Adam Gase type magic. And I personally believe that is what we're going to see. Hackett, I do respect his offensive mind. I mean, he's a second generation coach. His dad was literally, our coach, right? He was with the Jets
when we won the AFC East, Paul Hackett. Yeah,
exactly. The last OC, this is an embarrassing example, the last OC to survive more than 2 seasons with the Jets is Paul Hackett. So
really,
wow, yeah, hasn't been one.
I did not know that stat. 2 years. Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now Nathaniel's coming into year number 2, and we don't know if he'll be able to match his father's tenure. But that's kind of what I mean. Like, he's second generation. He's worked with quarterbacks before. Was last year bad? Yes. Do I think he deserves blame for last year's offensive ineptitude? Of course. But with Aaron Rodgers in there, I really do think he will be the Peyton Manning, right? A more recent example is Tom Brady, Byron Leftwich, right? I think those are both examples of play callers who, they have their playbook, they have their styles, they have their schemes, but it's the veteran guy that comes in here and really gets to pick apart the playbook and say, you know what, I like these concepts. I like this. And then going to the line of scrimmage, seeing what the defense is in and being like, oh, okay, based on that, let's do this. And that was something that Rodgers was doing from the sideline. That highlight throw in preseason that everyone wanted to hype up from Zach Wilson to, I believe that was Malik Taylor, right? That was a prime example of exactly what I just said. Rodgers seeing what the defense is in and be like, all right, well, let's do this. So imagine Rodgers doing that every game, and he's the one throwing the football, making the decisions with the ball. Sign me up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's amazing. So I love that. If Rodgers gets hurt, and now Tyrod has to do that, he's been in the league a lot. He definitely has schemes and concepts that he feels most comfortable with. So I'm actually confident in him being able to do stuff like that too. But with Rodgers at the helm, Hackett, yeah, sure, let's do it. I think it's all gravy, baby.
Yeah, and I'll just say real quick on your last Rodgers point, the fact that you can either choose, and I know there are people like this that heard about all the OTA stuff today and don't care. I know Jet fans who deplug. Once the season's over, they don't give a flying hoot about any of this crap. Free agency, draft, practices. They're like, tell me when the season's here. Because, I see that at the barber shop. I just got my hair cut, and I know normally I wear a hat. It's a whole shish kebab. I can't explain of why on Boy Green Meets Woody's at one time for some random reason I don't wear hats. It's a whole thing. Anywho, but the point is that I went to the barber shop, and some person will see me in a Jets shirt, go, "Oh, Jets, nice." I'm like, "Yeah, Jets, yeah." And then they're like, "Oh man, what do you make of the team?" And then I always have to pause time and say, does he really want to know what's up with the team, or is he just saying it like we say, hey, what's up in the hallway to somebody, and we don't want an answer. We just keep walking. So, like, I always have to gauge on that. And then when I start going in deep, oh, man, what they did. Olu Fashanu in the trap. Boy, did you know, the Mike Williams, Hassan Rediger. And then I just see his face like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Just tell me the win of the Super Bowl and keep walking, pal. I didn't want to hear any of this hoopla about this roster and whatnot. So every once in a while, I do get a little bit of that action. But I will tell you, for the fans that care and are watching the 300-plus people live right now, by the way, we appreciate you, that for the people watching right now, to me, it's wicked encouraging on May 21st that Aaron Rodgers is looking like Aaron Rodgers when he basically hasn't played significant football in months, and he's looking this good now. Like, he's only going to get better the more OTA practices he gets in the training camp once we get there and everything else. So I feel like this is a very, very positive sign that he looked like his old self. And we'll have to get one of the beat reporters on the show, hopefully sometime this week or over the weekend, to talk more about it, because the way Connor Hughes and some of these people were talking, like Aaron Rodgers looking like his old self, was like, whoa, okay, all right, sign me up, baby. Fired me up real quick like. You're on mute there.
Yeah. Vroom. Fire me up. You know, I'm ready to go. I'm telling you, I'm feeling good. I know it's May, and a lot of times, Jets fans are feeling great in May. This isn't the first May that Jets fans are feeling good, but anybody who knows anything about James Wudi knows that I don't really, I don't get excited. I'm a hard man to excite. I was not hyped last May.
You weren't hyped up. Come on.
I was not.
When Aaron Rodgers,
it was like, like Rodgers. Yeah, like I did not like the offensive line situation whatsoever.
Okay. I
was confident in Brees, and I was missing Elijah Moore. I was like, the receivers. It was not a situation that I was in love with. This time around, I like the offensive line. I like the receivers. Like there's like if like I would have to really, really, really like nitpick to find something that I don't like.
Which is a great place to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that's what I'm saying. So I think this is one of the few times they are deserving of praise in May. So here I am. Right. Great praise.
Well, it's good to get a Boy Green meets Wudi. Sometimes you think in advance, what the hell are me and Wudi going to be talking about on Tuesday, May 21st about the New York Jets? Well, plenty of content for you crazy bastards out there. So hopefully you enjoyed a near hour show of Boy Green meets Wudi. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 7:30. And in case you missed it, because me and Wudi might have to save some of this chatter for Thursday, depending on what's going on with OTAs, but we had Pat Ragazzo, who stirred the pot on the Justin Jefferson Jets Vikings trade rumors. We had him on the show after his tweet yesterday. He was on with me live this morning at 7:30 in the morning. So if you guys want to check out the man behind all that jazz, go check out the Boy Green Daily show from this morning. It's all in the playlist. We have a playlist for Boy Green Meets Wudi where you can never miss an episode. Plus, Boy Green Daily is also in a YouTube playlist. So you guys want to check that out. We'll be back tomorrow morning live at 7:30 in the morning. And me and Wudi will be back coming up on Thursday. At 3 o'clock, I guess, pending Aaron Rodgers press conferences that may pop up from time to time. But I'm looking forward to it. Wudi, this is going to be a fun offseason, my friend.
Absolutely. Buckle up. All right, we are about to take flight. Look at that. My voice gave out there. I've been yelling too much, just looking at all this incredible content and all these crazy quotes. And then just going back and forth with Boy Green, about our different opinions, different takes. Gotta love it though. Every yin needs its yang, so we're the yin yang twins. Let's get it. And yes, if you want to see more of that, more of this, you just tune in. Make sure you like, subscribe. Tune in to Boy Green, right? Boy Green Daily, what he's been doing, the people he's been talking with. Do you need me to run down the line? My Lord, he's been talking to everybody. All right, RG3, right? I'm forgetting her last name right now, but Charlotte, the VP.
Charlotte Carey.
Yeah, Charlotte Carey. Talk to him. Talk to Pat Regatta. I mean, listen, and out of all those people, all those A-listers that he's talking to, none bigger than the man with the curl
That's true.
of the world, James Wudi right here. So yeah, just a lot. So make sure you're tuned into the channel because we are not going anywhere, baby.
Def not. So make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're on youtube.com/boygreen25, Twitter @boygreen25, and the James Wudi on Instagram. So guys, make sure you guys check it out. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.